So it's a matter of great honor and pleasure for me to introduce to the audience today Professor Gagandeep Kang, who is the chief guest for the 9th convocation ceremony of IISER Mohali. Professor Gagandeep Kang is a scientist and medical microbiologist who has contributed immensely to research in the area of infectious diseases of the human gastrointestinal tract, especially illnesses that cause diarrhea in infants and children living in the tropical countries. Professor Gagandeep completed her MBBS, MD, and PhD degrees from the Christian Medical College, Vellore, and she runs an extremely successful research group and lab at CMC in clinical microbiology. Her research has provided major insights into the intestinal pathogens such as rotavirus, bacteria causing typhoid and dysentery, Campylobacter, and so on. Not only has her work in the lab been outstanding, Professor Kang is also deeply immersed in public health research. And it is this combination of bench research and field research that have defined Gagandeep Kang's unique strength and successes. She has made pioneering contributions to the development of the rotavirus vaccine, which was a collaborative effort along with the late Professor Maharaj Ban. Her research has also given us a clearer understanding of the intimate relationship between nutritional status and diarrheal diseases in children, especially in rural settings and in urban slums. She is also a fantastic role model for the medical students interested in research. Professor Gagandeep Kang has received numerous awards and recognitions for her work. Amongst these are the Infosys Prize in 2016 and elections to the fellowship of the Indian National Science Academy and the Indian Academy of Science. Last year, Dr. Kang was elected as Fellow of the Royal Society of the United Kingdom. On a personal note, I may add that she is a fellow alumnus as I am from the same Christian Medical College, Professor Gagandeep Kang.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Dr. Gauri Shankar. Respected Chairperson, Board of Governors, members of the Board of Governors, Senators, Director, Dean, faculty, and graduates of IISER Mohali, and the families of the graduates. This is a very special occasion. It's a strange one, but a special one. After years of striving and effort, you've achieved what you set out to do, and the path to this success will not have been easy except for a very few of you. My heartfelt congratulations to all of those who are receiving their degrees today, and a special appreciation to those who have received awards and distinctions. IISER Mohali was established with a vision to support the journey of a new generation of scientists dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge in frontier areas of basic sciences. In so doing, the Institute aims to emerge as a global center of learning, academic excellence, and innovative research. And in being part of this goal, the abilities and skills that you have acquired during your time here are foundational to building your careers and to changing the world. It's never been more true than in this time of crisis that science and technology are necessary to generate improvements in our everyday life and to help us to answer the great mysteries of the universe, including the viruses that have changed our world in a matter of months. Think about who and what matters in the world and what you want to see more of. It's very clear that in today's uncertain world, we wait eagerly for stories of vaccines and breakthrough drugs. Science has never been so followed. We look at new communication tools, new tracking applications for public health, new mathematical models for predicting the future. As a society, we now think that science and technology are going to save us, and they will. We can and we will make the world a better place, and not just for ourselves alone. While we wait for this immediate crisis to settle and the world to evolve its way into a new way of functioning, to all the graduating students of IISER today, I have three messages. The first one is try and find ways to fail. The second is reach out and make connections. And the third is to have a contingency plan. Our society expects us to succeed. It recognizes success and looks down on failure. Today, you have achieved success, but in the future, it's very important to remember that you should not be afraid of failure. In our personal and our professional lives, ambition requires bravery. In order to make a contribution that is large and lasting, you have to be ambitious. All new discoveries and technologies require iteration for us to learn from what did not work. These valuable insights come to us only after failures, and accepting and learning from those insights is key to succeeding in every project and in life. Think of the opportunities that you'll miss if you let your failures stop you. I don't know how many of you during the lockdown saw The Last Dance, but I'm a basketball fan, and I want to share this quote from Michael Jordan. I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. As The Last Dance showed us, nothing worth having comes easily. So be prepared for failure, seek it out. Second, now more than ever, reach out and make connections. In an uncertain world, connections with friends, family, and colleagues make us realize that we are experiencing difficult times together. You will find people who are strong, who act as role models, who inspire, and who lead. Follow them. And then there are people who struggle, who have difficulty coping, who need support. We need to be there for them. Mahatma Gandhi said that the true measure of a society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. And that is something that we need to take to heart. Look at yourselves, your families, your friends, the world of relationships that you have, and think about how much they matter and what you can do to strengthen them. This is your safety net, your support system, and your insurance for difficult and uncertain times. And just as much as everyone around you is your safety net, you are theirs. In times like this, thinking through what really matters to us is important. And while the first circle is ourselves, our families, and friends, outside that are many more spheres of influence that affect us and that we can affect. It has become obvious around the world that no matter how much we separate ourselves, we live in a deeply interconnected world where it may be possible some of the time for some of us to separate ourselves from other people and their problems, but it can't be forever. Deep-seated inequities and disparities that affect some parts of the world ultimately influence how the rest of the world functions in many ways, not just when there are infectious diseases around. And then to move to the future, to being prepared and to contingency plans. There is, as is obvious now, no completely safe and foolproof way to live life. To plan ahead, to identify what is critical, what the known and unknown risks and threats are, and to understand their impact, imagine their impact, allows for us to think about ways of mitigation and minimizing poor outcomes. If we have thought through what problems we might encounter in the future, we can also think about solutions. We remove fear by creating a path to handling what might be the dangers and risks of failures. Finally, I just want to reach out to the women in the room and tell them specially, please, please value yourselves. Being yourself requires a tremendous amount of inner strength, especially in our society. It is important to constantly recognize and appreciate how much you have achieved and to have the confidence that it takes to follow your heart and your dreams. Often following your passion and doing what you feel is right for your life will involve going out on your own, being independent, and standing against what you are told to do, particularly by culture and by society. But as women, you are strong, and all of us together are ultimately going to change how society views us and deals with us. And to everyone, I paraphrase the words of Melinda Gates. If you want to lift a society up, you need to stop keeping women down. ISA does an amazing job of educating women, and some of its faculty are the strongest scientists that I know. Finally, I want all of us together to thank our parents and our teachers, all those who support us and build us up and keep us going as we set out to become contributors to society and good people in our personal and professional lives. There is no question that there will be challenges to come, but with the strong base of our education and upbringing, we are well positioned to take on the future. I wish you all that is good in the world. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor Kang, for this lovely advice to our young graduates. Normally, when we have a chief guest for convocation, we also organize sessions with students. Unfortunately, we are unable to do that this time, but I hope that in future we will be able to get you across and have interaction with our students, and they'll be able to spend more time picking your brains. Thank you so much. I request Professor Gauri Shankar in the chairperson's absence to declare the convocation closed. After that, the national anthem will play, and that the end of the national anthem will be the end of this webcast. Thank you.
So on behalf of the chairperson of the Board of Governors, I declare the convocation closed. So I would request all of us to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everyone.